You know, we're all wounded. We're born into a wounded world. We're born into a wounded family. And in childhood, we pick up our own personal wounds through no fault of our own. And because of our wounds, what happens? Well, we become separated from our true selves, from who we really are. We also actually become separated from the image of God within us. And as a result, we feel lost, homeless. So what then do we do? What do we do? Well, we create addictions and false expectations. And we build our lives around things like accumulation and achievement and the constant need for the approval of others. But what we also do is we allow our culture to exploit us. Our human condition is broken and it needs liberation. It needs healing. Now, for this healing to happen, we need to be reconnected with our true selves. We need to return to who we really are. We need to come home to the love we are made for. Now, this, in fact, is the primary purpose of religion. It certainly is what the religion of Jesus is about. You see, Jesus sought to liberate people from their bondage to possessions and power and prestige, from seeking happiness in the wrong places. Jesus realized that people needed to be restored to their original blessing, to their true selves, to the self before it was wounded. And this is why his focus was on healing the wounds in the human heart that make us feel unworthy and inadequate and shameful. It is why he offered people unconditional love and why he invited people to an inner journey of transformation. The story of humanity as a whole, and of every person as an individual, is to be found in the story Jesus told. That story is called the story of the prodigal, and many people believe it's the greatest story that has been ever told. The story of the prodigal is the story par excellence of our homecoming, of the journey our hearts need to make. It is the story of a son whose search for happiness in accumulation and achievement and the approval of others ended in dissatisfaction, disappointment, and eventual destitution. It is the story of a man whose experience of failing and falling led him to realize that he was looking for fulfillment in the wrong places. It is the story of a son who returned home with empty hands to find his father waiting for him with open hands. It is the story of love experienced as gift, not requirements and not achievement. It is the story of a father, a lavish father, a prodigal father, whose unconditional love healed his son's feelings of unworthiness and shame and reconnected him with his original blessing, with his belovedness. It is the universal story of what needs to happen in the life of every person if he or she is to experience healing. because real healing can only start to happen when we allow God to love us unconditionally.